Hey guys, what is up? So if you don't know yet, what was that? But I have moved, if you can't tell by the boxes in the background and more boxes in the background. So I just wanted to come on here today and make a video sort of regarding why I moved. I don't think I have thoroughly discussed that on my channel. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So for those of you that don't know, I lived in a house. My parents do investment properties, so essentially my house was an investment property or would turn into one once I moved out. They would find tenants and would rent it out to people. That is pretty much how I ended up living in a house. Not to mention the reasons why I moved there were because a person that I had been dating for 5 years was going to school in that area, so I decided to move down there. And yeah, that's a whole nother story. I'm willing to tell that story just at a later date because then this video would be way too long. So anyways, so I was pretty much stuck in that house. It wasn't like I was renting the house and could get out of a lease. It was more so a thing that I needed to stay there in order to sort of fulfill my end of the deal with my parents. And not to mention the fact that I have 2 dogs. So even if I wanted to live on campus, I couldn't. If that was a question as to why I stayed in that house, there's your answer. So pretty much every day of the week, I would be driving an hour. If I woke up at 4 or 5, it would be an hour to get to school. If I woke up anytime after that, it could take me up to 2 hours to get to school. So I would make that commute and I would come back. And then if I wanted to do anything after school, as most people do, if I wanted to go out on the weekends, I would have to make that commute yet again back to the city. And of course, I have the 2 dogs that I have raised alone that I have a commitment to at that house. And it became so difficult. Fortunately, throughout the time that I have been going to school in the city and living so far away, I've had people that will let me stay at their place or whatnot to make it easier for me. But either way, I had a commitment to get back to my dogs, and it became a lot. It became a lot not only because of them, or I can't even say because of them, because it's not their fault. I have those dogs and I owe it to them to make sure that their life is what it needs to be. So it was that, and then obviously I have studying time that I need to do. I need to be on campus for certain things. So even if I got out of class at 1 and I had to come back for like a meeting or something at like 5 or 6, I would be commuting back to my house, let my dogs out, play with them, and immediately going back. And it was just a lot of time that I spent on the road. So commuting is definitely one of the major things that made me want to move. Another thing that I needed to move because of was, and a lot of you might be able to relate to this or might not, but just keep an open mind. So being in that house, because of the things that I've been through in that house, once again, I can make a more in-depth video on that, but I had a lot of memories. And like I've said before, some were good and some were not so good. And unfortunately, the not so good were very not so good. Unfortunately, because I did share that house with someone else, it just like, I would walk around the house and I would see something that would just remind me of like the abuse or whatever that I had gone through, and it just would make me, I don't even know how to explain it, but it would just make me want to like, I just felt trapped, I guess, like constantly surrounded by it. And I just always felt like it was just a dark mood in that house. And yeah, I really have no other way how to express it. I just honestly felt depressed, and like my mood suddenly went every time I went home. And that's not to sound like ungrateful or whatever, but it's just honestly, I feel like the best way to describe it is that when I was at my house, I really felt like I was in timeout. I was away from everything going on, and I was away from all my friends and campus and young people things, you know, because I lived in like an area that was good for me when I wanted to move, when I initially moved in there, but unfortunately was something that no longer suits me, and that I'm not in that phase anymore. Like I'm not in that place in life. So yeah, I honestly just felt like I was in timeout constantly. I lost any motivation to study. I can't even tell you, I maybe studied, I couldn't even tell you. I maybe studied twice at my house. Yeah, so I lost a lot of motivation to do even the simplest things in that house because I felt so trapped and just, I really wish I had a better word other than like depressed, because I don't think that's the right word, but like I wouldn't want to clean the house. I wouldn't want to put effort into improving anything in the house. It just like, I didn't want to be there, but like I felt like I had to be. So yeah. Also, another thing why this didn't happen sooner is because obviously admitting to my parents that I can't do it anymore, because the initial plan was for me to move out of there in a year. But having to admit to my family that I needed to get out of there, I honestly felt like a failure. Like, I felt like I admitted defeat. I admitted that I could no longer do it. And I feel like for me, obviously I haven't said everything that I've been through, but I've been through a lot of stuff. Stuff that I haven't even like told my friends about or whatever, but like I've been through a lot and I know that I can get through things, and I have yet to admit that I couldn't get through something, but I finally had to. I couldn't do it anymore. There was a phase in it had to have been March or February that I cried every day on the way home, just because I felt so stressed, especially when I have so many tests and I'm trying to get like some type of internship or like a job or something, but it would have to be in the city. So then it was just a lot. And yeah, needless to say, there was just bad vibes in that house. It's not the house, it's what happened to me, and honestly what happened to my dogs too in that house that I just needed to get rid of. I woke up in this place, my new place, the other day, and I was like, wow. It honestly felt like just like a breath of fresh air, just being in a new place, knowing that like this is my own place and I can make it however I want. It's really weird for me knowing that I won't be back at that place or like living there, and it's really strange to me because I've lived there for 3 years. I had planned on living there for a long time, and unfortunately that didn't work out the way it was, but everything happens for a reason. I know it does. And yeah, so I went back to my house yesterday and I just had like this flood of like memories, of the good memories, mainly of my dogs and I, the stupid things that they would do there. And I don't know, like that's the one thing that sort of like makes me a little sad about the whole thing, because I don't have, you know, a backyard here or anything, but I do have lots of fields, a dog park, and a back patio, so that'll all be fine. Like I said, I didn't only make this move for myself. I am not only in charge of myself. I do have the 2 dogs, so this move was not only for me but for my dogs as well, because they need to have me around more. They want me around more. Like I could tell that they wanted more attention, and I have to give that to them. As an owner, I have to be there for them more than I have been. And I love my dogs. I will literally do anything for them. And yeah, so I did this partially for them. No matter like how sad or upset I get about leaving memories behind, I just sort of think of it as I'm moving on to a next chapter, and I know this chapter will be better. And yeah, I don't know, just that in itself makes me happy. And just having a blank slate. If you've ever been in a situation where you don't, I'm totally just chilling now and whatever. If you've ever been in a situation where you need to get out of a place and you finally get out, it just, I don't know, like I feel like a burden has literally been lifted off my shoulder. I feel like I'm not truly explaining the depth of like what happened to my house. So I'm just gonna say a little bit, and maybe I'll make a full video about that. But the person I was living with, who I moved into the house with, was very abusive, and there were signs of that. all over the house, in the doors, in the floors, multiple floors, multiple doors, that literally if I wanted to walk into my bedroom, or if I wanted to walk into my bathroom, or if I wanted to go upstairs, I would see that. And it would just like make me honestly want to hide, but I couldn't hide from it. So it just feels so relieving to have a space where I don't have to see that every day, because I don't need to, and I don't deserve to see that every day. Like I said, I've been through a lot, and I have learned and I have grown a lot from those experiences, but I don't deserve to be sort of tormented by them every day. So yeah. That is my video. I just wanted to come on, tell you guys that I moved, sort of explain why I moved if you're curious. This is the first time I've worn makeup in I don't even know how long, probably like 2 weeks. So yeah, and also I burnt myself on my chin, so just, or not my chin, like my jawline with my curling iron, so don't mind that. Yeah, now I'm just rambling, but yeah, so expect a lot of videos. I want to do like home decor hauls, and I want to show you guys my place, because this is actually my place, and I want to be proud of it. I don't want to hide that from you guys as I did in my other place. I don't know, I guess if you guys have any questions, anything that I sort of made unclear in this video, at this point I don't really know what all I've said because I've been rambling so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and until next time, bye!